Hey guys, as part of a homesteading video, I figured I would do a video on my Chantecler chickens, my poultry, because I had some comments on my YouTube channel, on this channel that you're watching. Don't know why I said YouTube, on my YouTube channel. On my channel, and I wanted to give you an idea of what I had and why I got it. So I have Chanteclers. They are the only Canadian breed of poultry, of chicken, and they are bred specifically because, or to be hardy, more hardy in winter, and because of the breeding, their combs are very tiny, and that was part of the breeding process. They want to get rid of the combs and the waddles that are susceptible to cold winters. You know, if you get minus 20 degrees, minus 30 degrees, minus 40 degrees. The Chanteclers have a much better chance of having less damage, less hurt, you know, with their wattles and their combs freezing. A lot less chance because they're much more tightly packed, I guess, or smaller, just through the breeding process. So they do stand as the only Canadian breed. This is a great site, backyardchickens.com, and they have a section on Chantecler. Now, this is the partridge Chantecler. There's also a white Chantecler. There's two types, the partridge and the white. I've got the white. The partridge is the more colorful one. Just a couple of things about the Chantecler. The pros on backyard chickens, and I can attest to these, they're good layers, especially for winter. Winter hardy, active, adaptive, productive, self-produces, although I don't have broody birds myself. Cons, they're flighty, they're not good in hot weather, difficult to find, hens can be pretentious. Now, they are not, they don't lay eggs as much as maybe a Rhode Island Red or something else that's just an egg machine, but they go steadily. And hopefully, because they're more of a heritage breed, hopefully you'll get more than 2-3 years out of them. Maybe you'll get 4 or 5 years. That's what I'm hoping. A lot of breeds you can get 7-8 years of egg laying out of them. So that's what I'm. But you get fewer eggs. Maybe once every couple of days with some of them longer living heritage birds, which is fine. As long as you have enough birds, you can do that, and then you only have to rotate your flock once every 6 or 7 years. Versus with your standard, egg machines, you need to rotate the flock every 2 years before they get too old, basically, and run out of eggs because they're just producing eggs every single day. So you gotta balance what your needs are. Are you interested in longer term layers or short term, and know that you'll have to slaughter your birds a bit more frequently to keep the layers fresh and young and producing at whatever rate you find you need. I think you shouldn't rely on just 2 layers if you're producing eggs for your family. If you're producing eggs for your family, you probably want 6 or 7 layers, and then you should have enough. Maybe even 10. If you got a family of 5, 3 kids and 2 adults, and you're eating eggs every day, well, you're going to probably need 10 or 15 birds, to keep up with that and to produce enough. So yeah, you gotta number your layer flock to provide enough eggs for your family, and that's going to be up to you and what type of bird you get, obviously. With Chanteclers, they are not as friendly as other birds. Certainly, they are definitely flighty. I would agree to the flightiness. So if you're didn't mean to click on that. If you're looking for a bird that will follow you around and eat from your hands, you're probably not going to get that with a Chantecler. I don't know if you'll get that with other heritage birds. They're a bit more wild, and that's why they're called heritage birds usually. Now, I'm no expert on poultry, on chickens, but I'm just talking from experience. So the Chanteclers, the white Chanteclers, they're excellent meat birds. The roosters, the cocks get good and large. They make up to about a 5 pound once you clean them and put them in the freezer. They're kind of a nice 4 or 5 pound bird, and that should be plenty for a 1 family meal. You're not, as long as you're not completely gluttonous, a 5 pound bird should do you. Now, we raise meat birds as well, which get up to 6, 7, 8 pounds, and we find for 1 meal those are too big. But a Chantecler is around 5 pounds. The roosters, that's a perfect size for 1 meal. And In terms of the meat, the white meat, you cannot tell that any different than the meat birds, the meat king birds we raise specifically for meat. The dark meat is definitely darker, and it does definitely taste a little bit different. It's kind of the more, I don't know if it's gamey, but you kind of understand where I'm going with that. It definitely has a stronger taste to it. The white meat, you can't tell it. It's delicious. You can't tell it from, Swiss chalet or any other chicken from the store. It's great stuff. And so they're awesome dual-purpose bird. The rooster's awesome for meat, and the very hardy over winter. There's a cherrycreekcanadians.ca. These guys breed and sell the eggs. So there you see the white Chantecler, which is what I have. That is a rooster, and you can tell because of the overhanging feathers there versus the layer, obviously. I'll just read a little bit about it. Having helped to do our part with the conservation of the Canadian horse in 2005, we decided that it was time to turn our attention to another little-known and rapidly disappearing Canadian-developed breed, the Chantecler chicken. Now, they're talking about their decision to move and start breeding Chanteclers, and that's what I'm doing here as well. I'm no big commercial operation. I sell a couple of chicks here and there, but that's not the purpose. I just have a small layer flock. Finding these chickens anywhere in Western Canada proved impossible, since the majority of white Chanteclers were located in Quebec. That's where they were bred. That breed was created in Quebec by, I think it was a monk or something like that. Finding these chickens anywhere, yeah, I read that already. In 2005, while in Quebec for Canadian horse, we were AGM 2005, we were able to source some white and partridge Chantecler hatching eggs from a variety of sources. We hatched the very first eggs out with remarkable success, and went on to become the very first breeder of both white and partridge Chanteclers in Canada. I got mine actually from a local breeder who shows birds at the local bird shows, and he just gave me some for free to get going, because to get a bit more, more people breeding Chanteclers because they are fairly rare. Today, this type of chicken continues to be quite rare, with them being maintained in small numbers on farms with an interest in rare breed preservation. They previously could only be found in Canada. However, over the past 5 or so years, interest in them in the U.S. has steadily increased, so they can be found there as well. Now they're bred for colder temperatures, so they're not going to be happy necessarily in Florida. They're bred for cold temperatures. That's what they're good at. That's why they were bred. Just as with the Canadian horse, both types, white and partridge, of this rare poultry variety were also developed in Canada, and thus are uniquely adapted to harsh Canadian climatic conditions. Here's a picture of the white Chantecler there again, and you can see the photos on the side of the white and the partridge. The original Chantecler, white in color, was created in the early 1900s by a monk named Brother Wilfred, who lived in Oka, Quebec. He made the realization that there was no Canadian breed of chicken and decided to remedy this. He critically reviewed other chicken breeds at the time and noted in which aspects that they were superior and which they were inferior, and basically came up with all of the characteristics of his ideal. He then took the next decade to make a whole series of systematic crosses, eventually coming up with his ideal, the white Chantecler. The unique and very attractive dual-purpose chicken breed, declared a heritage breed of Quebec by their parliament, is little known by the rest of Canada. Then it gets into the partridge. I wasn't so interested in the partridge at all. Maybe in the future. And then it goes into a bit of the history of the Chantecler. So again, this is cherrycreekcanadians.com. Here's one of the first Chanteclers. Lots of excellent pictures of them there. So yeah, so what do? I think I have 6 Chanteclers, 6 hens right now, and 4 roosters. I had a flock, a second flock, a more mature flock that was wiped out by a mink last year. And so I'm actually incubating right now to get some more. And I do, if I get enough, I do sell eggs. Well, I sell chicks during the summer here in Canada. So if you're looking for some chicks, possibly let me know. I don't incubate a lot, but let me know if you have any questions about where to get them. Anyways, I can probably point you in the right direction. So yeah, I keep around a flock of 10 or 15. I'll probably increase that flock now, because what you can do is you hatch a bunch in the spring, you grow them up over the summer, and then you slaughter a bunch, put them in your freezer for winter, and you only hold maybe a couple of roosters, maybe one or two, and six or eight hens you overwinter. So, and the rest you put in the freezer. And we did that last year for the roosters that we incubated, and it worked out really well. They were absolutely delicious. I think I slaughtered 5 of them, and we got them all professionally cleaned and wrapped, shrink wrapped, and put a label on them. And you pull them out of the freezer, you wouldn't be able to tell, except that they're a little bit smaller, you wouldn't be able to tell that they didn't come from a grocery store. And sometimes part of the thing with raising your own chickens is that you don't like to eat your own birds, but if you take them to a third party and get them all cleaned and wrapped up, that helps some to get over the idea that they're eating their own chickens. But it's excellent value for your money. You know what went into the chicken in terms of feed, and you know how it was raised, so you know your whole food source and cycle. You know where your food comes from. That's part of the big thing. And like I say, these are excellent dual-purpose birds. The roosters get to a good size. There are bigger birds you can get, but for a general-purpose, dual-purpose bird that is also good in Canada for cold temperatures, the Chantecler was purpose-bred for that, and I would definitely recommend it. So let me know if you have any questions, and I can try and answer. You can Google Chantecler. There's Wikipedia pages and all sorts of pages, backyard chickens, about this and people's opinions of it. Let me know what you think, or if you have any. And the more people that know where all the Chanteclers are, the better, because you keep the breed going. And mine is a purebred flock, FYI. I do try and keep it purebred. I don't mix it, because I do want to keep up that purebred line if I can. So yeah, that's it. I'm having fun incubating. You should see some chicks from the incubation in about maybe 3 weeks. I'll have some a chick video up of that. So stay tuned. That's a bit of your homestead update, and a look at the Chantecler birds for this year, because I know some people were interested in asking about it. The only Canadian breed of poultry, of chicken. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you're interested, and I keep homestead videos coming out. One a day, DIY stuff, all sorts of livestock husbandry. We're doing pigs this year, I believe, and we have all sorts of stuff on top of the bioprophecy stuff as well. So if you like it, give me the thumbs up, and thanks for watching.